peculiar situation. He was very acceptable to the British because he practically led the formation of UMNO, and the British recognized that only the Raja, members of royalty, and Malays who were subjects of the rulers had the right to talk about the future. So they recognized when Dato became president of UMNO, the British recognized him as the representative of the Malays. But when he tried to persuade the UMNO to change his name from United Malay National Organization to United Malayan National Organization, UMNO refused. So he left UMNO. The moment he left UMNO, the British no longer recognized him as the leader of the Malays. Tunku Abdul Rahman took over, so the British recognized Tunku as the leader of the Malays. So he formed IMP, Independence of Malaya Party, hoping that he could succeed. But UMNO and MCA got together in 1952 at the Kuala Lumpur municipal elections. IMP, supported by MIC, lost to MCA and UMNO badly, very badly. They managed only one seat, I think, and that lady is still alive, you know. Tan Sri Devaki Krishnan, she was the only one who won. And after that, the British continued to support UMNO MCA because that was the majority party. So, poor Dato on, from IMP, switched to Parti Negara. And under Parti Negara, he tried to go back to the UMNO policy, but too late. So politics is like that. You have to be. Formation of alliance was very funny. One day, this Ong Yuk Lin was going to somewhere. Then he saw his friend Yahya Abdul Razak, schoolmate, standing by the road waiting for a bus. So he stopped the bus, he stopped his car to offer a lift. So Yahya came to his car, and when they were going, they discussed the politics of the country. It so happened that Ong Yuk Lin was very high up in the MCA, and Yahya very high up in UMNO. This was just before the municipal election of Kuala Lumpur. So they agreed that during the municipal election, MCA and UMNO in Kuala Lumpur should get together and take on IMP, because they thought IMP would be very successful. In the meanwhile, poor Dato On, who was assured support from Tan Ching Lok, did not get that support. So MCA and UMNO combined and beat IMP and MIC. Then the National Alliance was formed as a result of what happened in Kuala Lumpur. And MIC, of course, after a little while, decided to play safe, so joined alliance as well. But meanwhile, MIC, which started off as an ideological party, because it was influenced by India's Congress Party, gradually shifted. By 1954, it became more and more a Tamil party. By 1955, especially when Sami Velu took over, it became 100% a Tamil party. Most of the non-Tamils pulled out. You know, Indian society is still very complex today. Marriages between one group and another are not common. And, but the Tamils now outnumber all the rest. Tamils face problems because of fragmentation of estates. So now poor Indians also, see again, people are exploiting them. Because they are poor and people tell them, no, you were badly treated by the British, badly treated by everybody. From day one you were laborers. The Indians were not laborers originally. They were, the people who first came here were the money lenders. Oh, sorry, traders at first. But many of the traders were Muslim. Later on, the money lenders came, and the money lenders were the ones who supported the Chinese entrepreneurs. There were no banks in those days. But later on, when the banks came, and the money lenders became no longer useful. But who were the people who took advantage of the opportunities available to our locals to study, especially law and medicine? Indians. When the medical college was formed in Singapore in 1905, the British asked for a lot of donations from the public, and many Chinese businessmen donated. But when the results of the first year's exam came out, many of the names were Indian names. So the Chinese were a little rattled, saying, well, we gave money and the Indians became one. For the Indians, doing medicine was very important, especially the Swanis. There was a joke once they said, there was this Swanis man very proudly told everybody, my son is a doctor, my daughter is a doctor, my son-in-law is a doctor, my daughter-in-law is a doctor. But they said to the Swanis, to go to heaven you must be a doctor. But medicine, the Chinese didn't take much of medicine at one time. And lawyers, who were the top lawyers in this country at one time? Indians. But they were not laborers. But there were many, of course, who were laborers. But to try to give a picture of Indian society as a society comprising laborers is wrong. Nobody writes about the middle class and upper middle class Indians. I even asked, there was one occasion when Punjabis came, they wanted to do the history. So I asked them, do you know the name Dara Singh? He didn't know. And Dara Singh was very interesting because he joined the Chinese National Army and fought against the Japanese in China. He used to drive the truck along the Burma Road. He was so good that when he came back, he could drive a jeep up and down the hill without brakes. But nobody knows him. So our society is again made up of people who want to exploit, tell sad stories and so on, and this hindrafting. And so everybody, and people say, oh, the Indians were all low class, low caste. They even cooked up the story. The Indians were brought here as prisoners. That's why when they walk, you hear clink, 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 clink. Rubbish. They were, somehow people call them cling because they came originally from Kalinga. Kalinga. Okay. And somehow, I don't know how, only the Hokkians managed to retain that. So if you ask a Hokkian, who is that Indian, he would say, is it Kalinga? The rest have got it wrong. Cling, cling, cling. Yeah, sorry. And one more. The Indians who came here to work in the plantations were not low caste Indians. They were from the farming caste. So there is so much that you need to know about Malaysian society. And unless you make history relevant,